Our story begins in darkness. A small family of Omniraptors moves cautiously through the West Access Plains. 2 adults, 3 juveniles. A fragile unit, they soon encounter something formidable, a pair of Dibbles. At full growth, a Dibble weighs 3 tons. That is more than 6.5 times the mass of a fully grown Omniraptor. Their horns are built for devastating impact. A single charge can send a raptor flying. Against creatures like this, mistakes are extremely costly. For a pack this small, they are not typical prey. Most Omniraptors would avoid them, but this pack is not most packs. The juveniles are growing and their hunger is becoming urgent. Prey this large could feed the family for days. They sprint in wide arcs, attempting to knock the raptors from their feet with crushing force. But the Omniraptors remain calm and coordinated, darting in and out, snapping at flanks and tails. Each bite does little on its own, but over time the damage begins to stack. The Dibbles adopt one of their strongest defensive tactics. They turn back to back. By shielding their vulnerable rears, they deny the Omniraptors their most effective angles of attack. The pack is forced to adapt. Rather than attacking both, the Omniraptors attempt to draw one Dibble away. A distraction here, a feint there. When a gap opens, another raptor darts in to strike the exposed partner. The adults rotate constantly. One presses the attack, while the other withdraws to recover stamina and tend to injuries. The margin for error is thin. The juveniles play their part. Smaller and more nimble, they harass relentlessly, darting in to draw attention and create openings for the adults to strike. The pack refocuses on the smaller of the 2 Dibbles. It will take fewer bites to bring down, and it will still provide enough food to survive. Another juvenile bites the dust. This means war. The remaining juveniles redouble their efforts. One young Omniraptor repeatedly launches aerial attacks, striking and retreating again and again. Eventually, the smaller Dibble falters. Its strength gives way. It collapses. The pack feeds. There is meat. There is relief. Enough to keep them standing. They could leave. Most packs would. But this fight is no longer about hunger. This is now about principle. The male Omniraptor strikes first, unleashing a flurry of rapid attacks. He harasses the remaining Dibble relentlessly, forcing it backward. Driving it between two trees, the environment becomes a temporary trap, but the Dibble does not panic. It holds its ground. As the weather begins to change, the forest grows heavier, the air thickens, darkness settles once more. The Dibble decides to leave. The Omniraptors pursue, applying constant pressure, baiting charges, forcing it to waste energy. As the male withdraws to recover, the female takes over, bloodied, bruised, barely holding together. Once again, the Dibble positions itself between two trees, using the terrain to limit the Omniraptor's angles of attack. The pack adapts. They always do. They bait, dodge, strike, withdraw, over and over. The Dibble gives out a friendly call. It just wants the onslaught to stop. Until disaster strikes, the male Omniraptor returns to the fight and makes one fatal mistake. He dives headfirst toward the Dibble's front. The impact is instant. Horn meets flesh. Momentum meets mass. He dies immediately. Now, only the female and her last remaining juvenile remain. She is critically injured. One clean hit would end her. Every movement is a gamble, but retreat is no longer an option. She continues, dipping in and out, again and again, taking bites wherever she can, never lingering long enough to be struck. The pressure never stops. The Dibble lets out a cry. It knows the end is near. Eventually, exhausted and wounded beyond recovery, the giant falls. It is over. The female and her remaining juvenile begin to feed, prying open the body to reach the organs within. A hard-earned victory, a brutal reward. Only one child survives. The pack is broken, but alive, and life, indifferent as ever, moves on.